Hello and welcome to Science Monitor, a show that brings to you the most significant news from the world of science, technology, innovation, research, discoveries and much more. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and here are this week's headlines. On the occasion of a World Biofuel Day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announces setting up of 12 modern biofuel refineries across the country. Vigyan Prasar opened entries to the 9th National Science Film Festival of India. Researchers at the University of Delhi have uncovered new research which has the possibility of reducing the progression of the life-threatening Huntington's disease. Scientists at the Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru, develop a lightweight micro supercapacitor with an extra energy storage. Our top story this week. World Biofuel Day is observed every year on 10th of August to create awareness on the importance of non-fossil fuels as an alternative to conventional fossil fuels. At an event organized in New Delhi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced the setting up of 12 state-of-the-art biofuel refineries across the country. The Prime Minister also unveiled a booklet on the National Policy on Biofuels 2018 and launched the Proactive and Responsive Facilitation by Interactive and Virtuous Environmental Single Window Hub, or the Parvesh web application for the benefit of the public. Science Monitor brings you this special report.
In 1893, Sir Rudolf Diesel, the inventor of the diesel engine, for the first time successfully ran a mechanical engine with peanut oil on August 10. Since then, to mark this extraordinary achievement, August 10th is observed as World Biofuel Day. Biofuel is renewable, biodegradable, sustainable and environment-friendly. One of the main objectives of celebrating World Biofuel Day is to create awareness about the importance of non-fossil fuels as an alternative to conventional fossil fuels and to highlight the various efforts made by the government in the biofuel sector. This year, the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas held the World Biofuel Day program at Vigyan Bhavan, New Delhi on 10th August 2018. Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi was the chief guest for the inaugural session. He announced the proposed establishment of 12 modern biofuel refineries across the country, which can provide employment to 1.5 lakh youth of our nation. The event was attended by sugarcane and other farmers, scientists, entrepreneurs in biofuels, students of agriculture, science and engineering streams, Member of Parliament, ambassadors, officers of central and state governments and companies involved in bioenergy sector. Interactive sessions on ethanol, biodiesel, bio-CNG and second-generation biofuels were held on the occasion.
मैं आप सभी को विश्व बायोफ्यूल दिवस की बधाई देता हूं। साथियों, 125 करोड़ देशवासियों के जीवन को कैसे बेहतर किया जा सके, इसके लिए सरकार अनेक कदम उठा रही है, लगातार प्रयास कर रही है, नई नई योजनाएं बना रही है। गांव की अर्थव्यवस्था को ताकतवर बनाना, गांव के किसान की आय बढ़ाना, पेट्रोल, डीजल, गैस का विकल्प तैयार करना और पर्यावरण को सुरक्षित करना, ये हमारी सरकार की प्राथमिकताओं में है। बायोफ्यूल इन लक्ष्यों को हासिल करने में अहम भूमिका निभाने वाला है। बायोफ्यूल पर्यावरण और हमारी आर्थिक उन्नति के बीच तालमेल बिठाने में बड़ा सहायक बनने की शक्ति रखता है। साथियों, बायोफ्यूल सिर्फ विज्ञान नहीं है, बल्कि वो मंत्र है जो 21वीं सदी के भारत को, और न सिर्फ भारत को, पूरे विश्व की मानव जात को नई ऊर्जा देने वाला है।
The Prime Minister unveiled a booklet on National Policy on Biofuels 2018. The policy has the objective of reaching 20% ethanol blending and 5% biodiesel blending by the year 2030. Ethanol reduces carbon emission when mixed with petrol and diesel. The policy expands the scope of feedstock for ethanol production and has provided incentives for production of advanced biofuels. Biofuels have the benefits of reducing import dependency on crude oil, cleaner environment, additional income to farmers, and employment generation in rural areas. The biofuel program is also in synergy with the Government of India initiatives for Make in India, Swachh Bharat, and enhancing farmers' income. At the event, the proactive and responsive facilitation by interactive and virtuous environmental single window hub or Parivesh web application was also launched. It is a single window integrated environmental management system developed under the Digital India initiative by the Prime Minister. It enables project supporters, citizens to view, track and interact with scrutiny officers. It generates online clearance letters, online mailers and alerts to state officials in case of delays beyond stipulated time for processing of applications. Further details can be found on its website parivesh.nic.in.
The 9th edition of the National Science Film Festival of India will be held at Chandigarh University in Mohali, Punjab from 27th to the 31st of January 2019. This annual event is organized by Vigyan Prasar, an autonomous organization of the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. And entries for this film festival, which promotes the vast field of science, is open till the 31st of October 2018 under a number of categories for filmmakers, institutions and students. Here is a report.
Many find the subject science difficult to understand. But well-made films on scientific topics make any of its subjects easy to comprehend. To encourage and inculcate a scientific temper among the masses, the National Science Film Festival has been held every year since 2011. With the same spirit and enthusiasm, the 9th edition of the National Science Film Festival of India has now called for entries. The festival is organized by Vigyan Prasar, an autonomous organization under the Department of Science and Technology. The festival will be held between 27 to 31st January 2019 at Chandigarh University in Mohali, Punjab.
ये देश का अकेला और पहली तरह का फिल्म फेस्टिवल है जिसे हम नेशनल साइंस फिल्म फेस्टिवल ऑफ इंडिया के नाम से जानते हैं और अब ये जो चंडीगढ़ में मोहाली में होने वाला है 27 जनवरी से 31 जनवरी 2019 के बीच, इसमें हमें पूरी उम्मीद है कि पूरे देश से हमको हर साल की तरह इस बार भी फिल्में मिलेंगी जिनका संबंध साइंस, टेक्नोलॉजी, हेल्थ, इनोवेशन से होगा। नए नए शोध जो हमारे प्रयोगशालाओं में हो रहे हैं, हमारे कॉलेजेस में हो रहे हैं और सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि इसमें न केवल प्रोफेशनल फिल्म मेकर्स, हमारे गवर्नमेंट इंस्टीट्यूशंस, एनजीओज़, टीवी चैनल्स, बल्कि हमारे कॉलेज और स्कूल के जो स्टूडेंट हैं, जो फिल्म मेकर्स हैं, उनको भी बहुत अच्छा मौका मिलता है। उनके लिए अलग कैटेगरीज़ हैं, फिल्म अपने कॉम्पिटिटिव कैटेगरीज़ हैं, अब वो फिल्म सबमिट करते हैं।
The objective of the festival is to foster, strengthen and create scientific temper through the films that popularize science, technology, innovations, energy, environment, medicine and emerging sciences, agriculture and traditional knowledge. It promotes recognition of the initiatives of science communicators and filmmakers. It also creates a platform to interact with filmmakers, scientists and enthusiasts to create a better understanding of the universe and promote appreciation of science films.
ये एक ऐसा मंच बन गया है देश में जहां पर साइंस फिल्मों को हम अप्रिशिएट करते हैं, उनकी स्क्रिप्ट, उनके आइडियाज़, उनके मैसेजेस, क्या वो संदेश देती हैं फिल्में, उसको हम देखते हैं, समझते हैं और फिल्म मेकिंग की जो बारीकियां हैं, जो हम साइंस और एनवायरनमेंट की फिल्में बनाएं, हम नेचर या वाइल्ड लाइफ की बात करें तो उसमें क्या साइंस कम्युनिकेट हो सकता है, तो उस पर बहुत सारे पैनल डिस्कशन होते हैं, मास्टर क्लास होते हैं हमारे साइंस फिल्म मेकिंग के अलग अलग एस्पेक्ट पे, जिसमें प्री टू पोस्ट प्रोडक्शन शामिल होता है। हम साइंस फिल्मों को प्लान कैसे करें, क्या थीम्स लेके चलें। तो मैं समझता हूँ कि ये 5 दिनों का एक ऐसा फेस्टिवल है जहाँ पर फिल्मों में दिलचस्पी रखने वाले और ऐसे तमाम हमारे जो युवा पीढ़ी है, हमारी जो नई जनरेशन है, बडिंग फिल्म मेकर्स हैं, उनके लिए एक बहुत खास मंच है।
The call for film entries are under the following categories: interface or films funded by the government and non-government organizations, fusion or independent filmmakers and production houses, out of the box or films by college students, rainbow or films by school students in 6th to 12th standard, and spontaneous or on-the-spot films. 3 awards will be given under each category, namely the Golden Beaver, Silver Beaver and Bronze Beaver. The films can be on any theme of science, ranging from health to water reservoir systems, or climate change to science and technology in ancient and medieval Indian architecture. For further details, candidates can visit. The last date of application is 31st October 2018.
It's time for a short break, and when we come back, we'll tell you about the latest research development in the fight against the neurodegenerative Huntington's disease. Keep watching Science Monitor.
We have been harping with the government for a long time that since geography term, this course should be removed from the school and let it be called Earth Sciences. At the moment in geography we are getting only the physical aspect, mountains, rivers and lakes, and nothing more than that. There will be a recommendation to the CBSE, recommendation to NCERT and all that you call it Earth Sciences because then it becomes all inclusive. But the whole entire process is Earth, because where we are standing today, what you call Mother Earth must have formed somewhere and somehow. Yeah. To understand how it has formed and what you have in that, we need to know the geology of the Earth.
Watch Eureka with Professor Dheeraj Mohan Banerjee, INSA Honorary Scientist, Saturday 4 p.m, Sunday 12 noon, only on Rajya Sabha Television.
Huntington's disease is a disorder which affects the functioning of the brain and leads to involuntary muscle movements, difficulty in walking and even talking. The condition of the patient almost always worsens with time, with no available drug or treatment for this neurodegenerational disorder. To change this, a team of researchers at the University of Delhi South Campus studying the progression of the disease have found that Huntington disease can be reduced by increasing the insulin signaling to the neuron cells. Take a look at this report.
The brain is one of the most important parts of a human body and controls function ranging from vision and reading to thinking and muscular movement. When any part of the brain gets damaged, it can affect the overall functioning of our body. It can also lead to neurodegenerative disorders such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and motor neuron diseases. These are caused by the deterioration of neurons, which are the nerve cells which acts as a messenger transmitting information through signals. Huntington's disease is a progressive disorder where there is a continuous breakdown of nerve cells in the brain. The disorder severely impacts the person's thinking and functional capabilities that could result in psychiatric and muscular problems. In India, it has been noticed that this disease often occurs in adults between the age group of 41 to 56 years. But due to lack of awareness and no available treatment of this disease, not many cases have been noted. Towards this, a team of researchers led by Dr. Surajit Sarkar at the University of Delhi have taken a step to unravel the disease mechanism, which can pave the way to develop its medication. The team has found a way to stop the degeneration of the neurons, which in turn could slow down the progression of the disease.
We have been trying to find out some modifiers. So we selected about 2000 genes as per our understanding for this screening. And after rigorous screening, we found that if we upregulate the insulin pathway, and as you know, the insulin pathway is very important for the cell viability. They are involved in the energy metabolism and so many other things, growth and all.
Changes in the HTT gene present in the brain causes Huntington disease. The HTT gene is essential for making a protein called Huntington. This protein plays an important role in the functioning of the nerve cells in the brain. The researchers found that if this protein can be maintained, then Huntington's disease can be controlled. Scientists also found that insulin can help with the normal formulation of proteins in our body. It can be a key solution. The research has also shown that by increasing the insulin levels in the neurons, the progression of the disease slows. This is because in Huntington's disease, neurons stop functioning optimally.
Basically, we do the screening, genetic modifier screening, where we try to find out if there are some genes, if we modulate their expression, they can decrease or they can ease the severity of the disease, and those genes potentially can be used as a kind of drug target in future.
For the study, Dr. Surajit Sarkar and his team used Drosophila of fruit flies as the research models. Fruit flies have a strong nerve connection which helps to study the neurons effectively. The team took the disease-causing gene from humans and induced them into the fly to study the progression. After several trials, it was noticed that by increasing the level of insulin signaling, there was significant reduction in the protein aggregates which were formed due to abnormal repetition. This research project has been supported by the Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, and its results were published in the journal Molecular Neurobiology. These new findings will prove to be helpful in developing drugs and for therapeutic intervention to treat this disease.
Almost all electronic devices, right from the smartphones to LED televisions, have inbuilt capacitors in them for functions as diverse as a flash on the camera. These capacitors store energy for a very short time. For heavy-duty performances, the supercapacitors are used, like those used to power electric vehicles. Now, to further enhance the efficiency of supercapacitors, scientists at the Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru, have developed a compact, lightweight micro supercapacitor, which can be instantly charged and can store a larger amount of energy than a supercapacitor. Take a look.
Batteries are widely used in almost every electronic device, which can range from mobile phones, inverters, laptops, to remote controls to store energy. Batteries store energy in chemical form, then convert it into electrical energy. But they store energy for a short period of time and require frequent charging and updating. The most common example of batteries that we use in our day-to-day life is the lithium-ion ones that charges our smartphones. But with the technology revolution, capacitors have emerged as a major alternative to batteries. Capacitors store energy in the form of electric field and can release energy all at once. For example, the flash of a smartphone camera works with the help of a capacitor. It builds up energy in the circuits and releases it in the form of a flash. But for more heavy-duty usage, supercapacitors are used. They can store huge amounts of energy and can be recharged very quickly. These supercapacitors can complete thousands of charge-discharge cycles as compared to ordinary capacitors. Hence, they are used to power the system of electric vehicles and also for charging the batteries used in them. Currently, supercapacitors are big in size and weigh much more than a regular battery. To solve this problem, a team of scientists at the Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru, have designed a micro supercapacitor to deliver high power voltage with longer life cycles. The specially designed supercapacitor made by the institute is 1 micron in size and is therefore called micro supercapacitor, and these can store power in the form of chip.
We have developed this micro supercapacitor which is of micron size and which utilizes nanomaterials. So what a nanomaterial means is graphene and carbon nanotube, which are very popular carbon based material because of some specific properties which are very extraordinary. And more importantly, in these supercapacitors we require certain architecture which provides or which leads to higher charge storage.
Let us first understand how a supercapacitor works. Generally, a supercapacitor stores energy in the form of electric field between two conducting plates, that is, positively charged anode and negatively charged cathode. An electrolyte solution is poured between the plates, which are separated by activated carbon. On applying a voltage, electric field starts developing and the charge starts building up. Each collector plate attracts ions of opposite charge. Ions from electrolyte get collected on the surface of the two current collectors. Reducing the size of these supercapacitors without losing efficiency was a major challenge. The simple and cost-effective spray deposition technique developed by IISc scientists overcomes this challenge. The spray deposition technique is a technique where ink of nanomaterials such as carbon nanotubes, reduced graphene oxide, and manganese dioxide is sprayed on substrates such as metals and polymers. The layer-by-layer patterning of nanomaterials ink increases the overall charge surface area, thus offering large surface to volume ratio and boosts the volume of charges, making the overall energy storage capacity higher in micro supercapacitors. After trials, the results showed that layer-by-layer spray induced porosity between each layer. This increased the surface area for charge storage and also enhanced their movement. The results of the research were published in the journal ACS Applied Materials and Interfaces.
The main advantage of using these supercapacitors is high cyclic ability. They can go many millions of cycles for on and off and charging and discharging, as opposed to the batteries which die after some time. So we are working in this area and trying to find out the ways to further improve the efficiency.
The advantages of micro supercapacitors are they can complete around 10,000 more charge-discharge cycles as compared to batteries and can be recharged in a much shorter period of time with a longer lifespan. These micro supercapacitors made by Professor Abha Mishra and her team are small, lightweight, and highly flexible. Therefore, they can be used in the future for the development of advanced technological devices ranging from medical devices, wireless sensor networks to advanced computers.
It's time for a short break, and when we come back, we'll bring you some more news on science and innovation from India and around the world. So keep watching Science Monitor. Welcome back after the break. Let's now take a quick look at some more scientific innovations and developments from India and around the world.
National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA, launched its first mission to touch Sun on 12th August 2018. It was launched using United Launch Alliance Delta IV Heavy rocket with onboard Parker Solar Probe. The mission is launched to study the Sun's outer atmosphere and its effect on space weather. The mission is set for next 70 years, where the spacecraft will make 24 passes across Corona, the outer atmosphere of Sun. The liftoff of Parker's Solar Probe was from Space Launch Complex 37 at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station in the United States. In a recent study done by the team of researchers from the Physical Research Laboratory at Ahmedabad and National Center for Scientific Research in France have revealed that the Harappan civilization was not formed on the banks of a river. The latest findings indicate that about 35,000 years ago, the rivers changed their course before the settlement of Harappan civilization. The study was done by examining river sediments. The results of the findings were published in the journal Quaternary Geochronology. 12th August is celebrated as the World Elephant Day across the world. The majestic elephants are a joy to behold. but remains under threat due to poaching and loss of natural habitat. An event called Gaj Mahotsav was organized in New Delhi to raise awareness on elephant conservation and reinforce its status as national heritage animal. The event was organized by Wildlife Trust of India and the Ministry of Environment, Forests and Climate Change. The event highlights were the 101 life-size art pieces representing 101 elephant corridors of India, identified by World Wildlife Trust of India. The representation was done in the form of installations, paintings and photographs. The event was held from 12th to 15th August. On 12th August, Indian Space Research Organisation celebrated the 99th birth anniversary of its first chairman, Vikram Sarabhai. The anniversary was marked by the presence of Chairman K. Sivan and former Chairman K. Kasturi Rangan and A.S. Kiran Kumar at the Antariksh Bhavan. On the occasion, the Space Agency revealed the statue of Dr. Sarabhai. Also, the Department of Space approved the name Chandrayaan-2 lander as Vikram. Dr. Sarabhai was the father of Indian space program and was influential in establishing the Physical Research Laboratory in 1947. He was awarded with several prestigious awards like Padma Bhushan in 1966, Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Medal in 1962, and was posthumously awarded Padma Vibhushan in 1972.
And in the history of science this week, we remember M.K. Venu Bapu, an Indian astronomer. He was born on 10th of August 1927 in Chennai. He was popular for the development of a Wilson-Bapu effect with astronomer Colin Wilson. The effect is used to determine the brightness and distance of stars. Bapu was influential in establishing several astronomical observatories like Kodaikanal Observatory and Venu Bapu Observatory. In 1979, he was elected as the president of the esteemed International Astronomical Unit. For his valuable contribution in the field of astronomy, he was honored with the Don Ho Comet Medal by the Astronomical Society of the Pacific. Bapu was also an honorary member of the American Astronomical Society. He passed away on 19th of August 1982. His work in the field of astronomy continues to inspire astronomers even today. Well, that's all for this episode of Science Monitor. You can send your feedback and suggestions to Science Monitor on our email ID news@vigyanprasar.gov.in. You can also write in to us at Vigyan Prasar, C24, Kutub Institutional Area, New Delhi 110016. We'll see you again next week with another episode of Science News and Innovations. Till then, goodbye and take care.